Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stunner, with another episode of VSW Podcast. We're back tonight talking about another stop on this weekend's wild wrestling adventure. And this is going to be in Limitless Dirty Laundry in Yarmouth, Maine. Can't wait for this event, folks. I'm a huge Limitless fan, as anybody that follows me knows. One of my favorite promotions of all times. I think it is the premier New England promotion. Number one. I know it's close with Beyond. Some people like Beyond over it, but I am a Limitless fan to the end. I believe, honestly, in Randy Carver Jr., what he does up there, and he just has created such a masterpiece of a promotion. I mean, from MJF to AC Baby, you've had unbelievable champions, unbelievable moments, and just a whole lot of great wrestling. This is their last show they're going to be doing this year in Yarmouth, but you will not the last show of the year. You will catch them at the White Eagle at part of Festival with Beyond Wrestling, IWC, and a whole bunch of other wrestling promotions. Actually, I think it was ICW. But they have every last year they did their first um they did their first festival, and Limitless was a part of that, and it was it was very special last year. I thought I didn't go. It's very hard for me to get away on New Year's Eve and day. I got family, I got my wife, and kids and everything, and they all want to do something. So it's very hard for me just to be like, I'm peace out. I'm going to wrestling for 3 days. But I watched it on TV, and like I could just say, it's very special seeing all these people, especially after the years that we've had with the pandemic. Everybody coming together during the holidays, and just a lot of great wrestling together. Not just one great promotion, but a bunch of great promotions going and going and going. And they will be back this year. They've already started to announce their card for their show. You can check that on their website. Again, I don't think I will be able to attend, but I will be attending this one. Like I said, it's been a rough year for VSW and myself personally, just not rough in the sense of bad things, but just in the rough sense of a lot of things. Mostly good things happening, but also time consuming things and changes and a lot of different things. Weddings and houses and, you know, vacations and just a whole lot of stuff that's kind of thrown me off my game of, going to shows every single week and just, kind of being on the road and just doing nothing but wrestling shows. With this being said, I haven't been able to get to Limitless as much as I wanted to this year. Only got out there a few times compared to, like last year, which I almost, hit every show, I think. But I can't wait, wait for this one. Like I said, really big show. Let's jump into the matches that have been announced and let's talk a little bit about them. First off, Shannon Thomas, mystery opponent. Papa Bear, Sidney Bacabella was there to guide him. We saw him part of prestigious. We saw him have a rough year, with John Alba, Mac Daniels taking over, running, with the last wrestle belt, and everybody just kind of going their own ways. BRG. Chan Thomas not feeling the best about things. Down note. Papa Bear out of nowhere, extends a hand. World class Chan Thomas, coming to Limitless Wrestling. The full thing, like you see on Beyond, like you see in the other promotions, and it's great. I can't wait for it. Like I said, big, huge Channing Thomas fan. I'm getting to see him twice on this one weekend, one defending the NCW title and one in Limitless. Can't wait for that. That's going to be one hell of a challenge. We're going to have a great tag team matchup. Above the Rest taking on the Workhorsemen. I mean, I've never seen Above the Rest personally in person, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm a big tag team fan. I have seen the Workhorsemen, and I'm a big, huge fan of JD Drake. They're really going to perform. JD Drake's tremendous wrestler. and same thing with Henry. They both just really are just they have that chemistry, that tag team chemistry, but still doesn't above the rest. And this is going to be a great test for them and a great match at Limitless. I think the fans are really going to enjoy this one. I haven't seen a match that people haven't enjoyed actually, but for a tag team match, definitely something I can't wait for again. We're gonna have Rip Bison taking on. Here's a new name for me from Limitless. I haven't seen him wrestle yet there, and this is a girl grind showcase match. But it'll be Rip Bison versus Ryan Mooney. This should be interesting. If you don't know what grind is, it's Rip Bison's promotion. Pro Wrestling Grind. You can check it out. It's in Western Massachusetts. A lot of great matchups, a lot of great shows. Limitless has really been kind of expanding their horizon. They did that whole, War of Blitzering Pro. Really just kind of combining things. Restable. I love seeing promotions work together than against. It's just, it's not a competition. There's enough money to be made by everybody. This is going to be an interesting match. I don't know much about Ryan Mooney, so I'm looking forward to seeing him wrestle. I know a lot about Rip. I've seen him wrestle for a few years now. This guy has just turned into a powerhouse. When I first saw him, he was Tomahawk, came out Native American gimmick. Now he is just like demolition powerhouse warlord type wrestler, and just he is just on fire. Love to see him wrestle. Limitless always gets the fans pumping, the crowd going. And if you watch Pro Wrestling Grind, he's been doing great things out there, and he's also been on IWTV and Beyond Wrestling as well. So can't wait for this one. Another great singles match. So many great singles matches like this. Can't wait for this one. You got Brian Keith taking on Big Boofer Desmond Cole for the first time ever. I've only seen Brian Keith on IWTV. I've never seen him in person. But I have seen a lot of Desmond Cole. I love Big Boofer. This guy's energy is just wild. I mean, absolutely wild. And this is going to be one hell of a matchup between these two wrestlers. The athleticism that they both possess is just is astonishing, and I think it's going to be a very high flying, high impact, high energy matchup. The crowd is going to be very much into it, and Buffa has that effect. People follow and love him, and so does Brian Keith. So I think these two are gonna be good for each other in that aspect. I think they're gonna work well together, and it's the first time ever. Brian Keith was their headliner, kind of for this show. The man coming. It's not the regular person, regular limitless roster any which way. And I'm looking really forward to this matchup. I've been looking forward to seeing Brian Keith wrestle for a while, and I couldn't pick a better place than Limitless Wrestling, and I couldn't pick a better opponent for him. Honestly, I think like I said, it's going to be a great challenge. We also have a great women's matchup. Speaking of challenges, Kylie Ray taking on the pop superstar Becca. Two great, tremendous women in the wrestling profession, going one on one, head to head. This is what it's about. Becca just, doing just amazing work in the wrestling industry. From 2020 on, I saw a post she posted, 2 years later about it. And, just, I remember seeing her for the first time ever when I was watching at NCW's, season opener 2020. Here comes out, this person calling themselves Basic Becca. They had this kind of exercise gear on, and it was just basic. She didn't really find her niche, didn't really find herself. She was impressive, and I really enjoyed the match she was in. But like I said, something's kind of missing. Fast forward a little bit later, you would see the birth of the Scrungy Squad and Becker becoming that leader. She started to get into that role, the Scrungy Squad, and getting members and wearing the scrungy and rocking that out and becoming a fan favorite amongst everybody across New England and the nation. And then she went to Beyond and even further, and she's kind of taken on a whole new attitude, and now she's this pop superstar, really just doing amazing things in the world. And like, wow, she has made it very far, very fast. Just a tremendous wrestler. One of my favorite in the whole industry, and that is Becca. We had her early on as well on this podcast, when she was in the early days of the podcast. And, just a great person to talk to, always friendly to see. And I think Kylie Ray is a perfect matchup for her. This is going to be a great match if you're into, good wrestling matches. That's what I say about people. Like, they ask me, well, how's Limitless? Do you like it? What is it good? I said, look, if you like good wrestling, then you'll like Limitless. If you don't, then there's nothing I can tell you. But if you like good wrestling, then go to Limitless. That's where the best is. And matches are still being kind of announced. And like I said, and then you're also gonna have BRG, the other, he was part of Prestige, but now he's on a sweet victory run. And his opponent that was handpicked by Mac Daniels is the Thick Daddy himself, Andy Brown. Great matchup for BRG. This is another kid. I've seen him grow. I've seen him really take off. Top rope, NC all these promotions, losing streaks and everything. And now it's time to all pay off for him. He's really dominating the independent scene in New England. He's had some great matchups, memorable moments, great title runs. You know, gotta love BRG. This is going to be another great matchup. And, BRG, like I said, is just one of those people either you love or hate him, but he knows how to get under the crowd's skin. He can really irk them. He can really agitate you. He can really, make you mad. And that's what he does. But he's also a very tremendous and very well trained wrestler. He's had some of the best teach him. And, he's just, one of a kind out there. So definitely can't wait to check out this match. And then, it brings us to the main event of the evening. And this one, I really can't wait for. I am a huge fan of this guy. Ever since I saw him in Beyond, and that is the Madman Slade. He's getting a title shot. That's right, folks. In a no DQ match against AC Baby Romero, the champion. And, Ace beating Alec Price for this title. Alec, a tremendous champion. But, now you have Ace Romero as champion. And he's taking on the Madman Slade in a no holds match. And this is Slade. This is his type of match. This is what he likes. I've seen him do crazy, crazy hardcore wrestling. Tremendous, just all sorts of hardcore wrestling spots. Sorry, somebody was messaging and I was trying to figure out who it was, where it was coming from. Not on here though. I was watching one of the matches that I taped on earlier. I got a lot of footage from it. It was Slade versus Atticus Cougar. Happened at Beyond last year. What a matchup! And Atticus Cougar actually, spikes Slade in the head, and he's like Slade's coming out looking like Pinhead. It's crazy. Blood's falling. We've seen Slade do crazy matches, outrageous things, and this is going to be a real test for the champion Ace Romero, who he's no Ace isn't no pushover. Okay, he's a tough guy, and he's been wanting this title for a long time. He's Maine's favorite son, and I think this is just going to be one hell of a war. A war. This is going to be a battleground in Yarmouth for this title. Slade, he's a soldier, and he'll keep fighting until he's dead. And AC, he's a soldier. He's not going to lay down until you kill him. So this is going to be an intense matchup. I just really can't wait for this event. Like I said, I don't know who's going to win any of these matches, if I had to guess, if I had to go with choices, well, let's do it. Let's see who I would pick. I'm going with BRG winning his match. I'm going with Rip Bison winning his match. I'm going with Big Boofa, Desmond Cole. I'm going with Becca. I'm going with the Workhorseman. And here's my bold prediction. Really big, bold prediction. I'm going to go with Slade. I think Slade could take the title. This would set him up perfectly for walking into Festival and walking into, the White Eagle where, all his fan base is and everybody loves him even more. With that Limitless title, maybe a chance for a rematch also at the Limitless show or on the Beyond show. Who knows? But maybe Slade wins it, takes the title around a little bit. I don't know. That's just my bold prediction. It probably will not happen. But hey, who knows? There's a lot of things that can happen in the wrestling world. Anything can happen and will happen. Never count it out. But this has been great. Like I said, I haven't been able to get to Limitless in a while. It's always, a great time though. I take the ride up there, I go with my friends. We take a ride up to Lewiston. We go stop at the dispensaries, hit out, get some of the greatest smoke out there, cheap prices, great quality. And then we, head to the show and, talk with some of the fans, enjoy ourselves, get to talk to some of the wrestlers we haven't seen in a minute. This was almost a monthly, extravaganza in 21. Hasn't really happened like that. Like I said, 22 has just been a wild year, weddings and moving and just everything. And always seems to something when these shows and things come up. I'm so appreciative and glad, though, that I can make it to this one. Because if there's one I want to see, it's going to be this. It's going to be Ace Romero versus Slade. Just, I'm so pumped for this match. Anything Slade. I think Slade just brings this different excitement because it's not everybody does this. This isn't ECW in the late '90s, early 2000s where everybody's trying to do this hardcore gimmick. Not a lot of wrestlers do hardcore. Not a lot of wrestlers do death matches and extreme wrestling and light bulbs and glass and tables, chairs, knives, whatever it is. Slade does it. Only a few others do it. Slade does it, and Slade does it well. He's our local version of Nick Gage, and if not even better. Slade is just, one of the best. He comes from Creative Pro. He's a very well trained wrestler. We've seen him on, Let's Wrestle. We've seen him at Beyond. We've seen him all over the place. I'm so happy to see him, on Limitless main show, and this is going to be great as he's getting a title shot against Ace Romero. And AC Baby, like I said, this guy draws. People love Ace, and he's one of the best wrestlers out there. I mean, right now, he, draws big numbers. He's very well known. We've seen him in Impact Private. We've seen him in AEW. He was in that inaugural Battle Royal, whatever that was. We've seen him do all these great things in the wrestling world. And now we're seeing him as champion. He's very well deserved to be Limitless champion. Something hasn't happened. He wasn't the first champion. That was MJF. He wasn't the second or the third or the fourth. He didn't get any of these titles. Anthony Green won it. Then Anthony Green gave up. Then, it was Christian Casanova. Then, he lost it to Daniel Garcia. Garcia then lost it back to Anthony Green. Then Alec Price took it from Green. And then now AC has taken it from Price. And you can just see the heritage, the line of lineage on this title and where these guys are now. And it's just amazing. Limitless is based and built on champions starting with MJF, and it just continues to grow. So, I thank you everybody though for tuning in. I'm sorry this isn't a real long one. It's have a sore throat, so it's been kind of hard on me to talk a lot. But I'll definitely be out there. Limitless, Maine. Can't wait for it. December 3rd at the Yarmouth Anvets. I believe it's a sold out show, so I'm hoping If you wanted to be there, you got your tickets. If not, though, it's always worth to check it out. LimitlessWrestling.com. You can see if there's anything left. I'm not sure, though, if there is on this one. But you can always watch it all on IWTV. You can check out all of Limitless Wrestling's, events on IWTV. Just subscribe. It's cheap. It's worth it. You can watch all the greatest wrestling in the world on demand. Check it all out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This has been a great night. A lot of great wrestling coming your way this weekend. Like I said, did an earlier one. We'll be at NCW on Friday. There's also two other shows running. Top Rope Wrestling is running again. Back at the Paul Hall. And you're also going to have Chaotic Wrestling making their Watertown return on Friday night, Saturday night. You got more wrestling Sunday. You got even more wrestling coming. It's a weekend of independent wrestling. Let's kick off December strong.